Good day, everyone. I am Teacher Mayin Christy T. Lubiano, your art teacher for today. So I hope you're ready to learn to our new topic for this day. So I hope everyone is ready and well prepared. And now, let's start our discussion. The seven elements of art. What are the seven elements of art? So the seven elements of art are line, shape, form, space, value, color, and texture. So that is the seven elements of art. These elements are the essential components or building blocks of any artwork. Any good artwork should consist of these seven ingredients or the seven elements of art. So in any artwork that we make, we must compose or consist our artworks of these seven elements of art, which I mentioned earlier. So the first element under the elements of art is we have the line. Line is the most basic element of art. Without line, the other elements couldn't exist. So let's start here and then we will gradually go more advanced. A line can be thought of as a moving dot, right? If the dots overlap, it's a solid line. If they don't, it's a dotted line. A line has a beginning and an end, and by its existence creates an edge. If a line joins up, it forms an outline, also called contour. An outline creates a shape. So, as what I discussed earlier, this line is the most basic element. So it is very important because without line, we cannot create or form any type of shape. So lines can be long or short, thick or thin, makapal or manipis. A thick line gives emphasis and advances while a thin line, yung manipis na linya, recedes. Straight lines, on the other hand, are more mechanistic and dynamic and rarely found in nature. Curved lines change direction gently with no sharp and angles and suggest comfort and ease to the viewer. Curved lines most often relate to the natural world. Zigzag lines alter direction fast and create feelings of unrest, turmoil, and movement. Diagonal lines give movement and dynamism to a composition. Horizontal lines create the feeling of stability and calm. vertical. Vertical lines give the impression of height and strength and often have a spiritual connotation. Imaginary. So we have an imaginary lines. Lines can be imaginary or implied. For example, line of sight can be a very strong, albeit invisible line along which the viewer's eye travels. Also, a pointing finger can send the viewer's eye on a journey through the painting. Three-dimensional or the 3D. Lines alone could also be used to create a 3D effect. Depth in the 2D-dimensional artwork, hatching lines, straight or curved, are used to turn shape into form using value as seen the works of the masters like Rembrandt. Second element is the shape. When a line meets up to enclose a space, a shape is formed. Shapes can be geometric or organic. So as you can see the picture, that is the example of geometric shape. The example there is the circle. It can also be in the form of triangle, square, oblong, star, and many. While the organic shape is what we see as an abstract. It can be in the form of flowers, leaves, any kind of nature. Shapes are two-dimensional or 2D. They have height and width but no depth. Example is square. So the best way to remember the shape element is to think of an outline. So yung nakikita nyo sa picture, in the left side is you can imagine a cup or yung goblet, right? So if we look at the right side and magfo-focus tayo sa black na color, mapapansin natin may dalawang muka. So that is how the shape works in arts. So the third element is the form. Form is the next step up from shape as we now add depth to it to create a three-dimensional form. A square, a shape, or is a cube, a triangle, or is a cone, etc. Always remember that form encloses volume. Example, the height, the width, as well as depth. So the picture below explains the difference of shape and form. So a shape is what we see on the front. So we can identify that that shape is a square or it's a circle, a triangle, while the form is what we see to its side, to its back. So we see a total dimension. For example, the 2D and the 3D. Here you can see how shading has been used to create the illusion of three-dimensional objects on a flat wall. So, focus kayo dito sa picture. So, as you can see that the wall has its shadow na parang pinituran, pero ito lang ay tindraw. or pinaint. So in drawing and painting, form can only be applied because they are two-dimensional or flat media. So artists must use tricks. Ito yung tinatawag na parang totoo yung mga pinaint nila, to fool the viewer's eyes, so as to create the illusion of the third dimension. This is known as trompe-l'oeil and achieved using tools like value, shading, color, and contour lines. So, diba na-amaze tayo sa ibang mga painter dahil ang husay nila mag-painting na parang totoo. Yung ibang mga painter, parang nagpe-paint sila na parang dinevelop ang kanilang mga pinaint, in which yung totoo is gumamit lang talaga sila ng mga tools, yung mga magagandang pagka-shade, yung mga color na ginamit nila, at the proper contouring of lines. And also, like shapes, forms can be geometric or organic. So hindi lang yung shapes ang nakaka-create ng iba't ibang mga forms. So the element of form also can be in a form of geometric or organic. So organic forms are common in nature. Ito yung mga nakikita natin sa paligid. While geometric forms are more characteristic of architecture and man-made items. Nature, however, also uses geometric forms on occasion. Examples are crystals and honeycombs. This is the example of organic form. So, diba, it is common in nature. The example in the picture is a flower. While the second, and this is the example of geometric form. It is man-made items. The example in the picture is a mug that's filled with water. The fourth element is the space. Space is what lies between, around, or within an object. To show space in a 2D medium, the artist must use techniques to create the illusion of space between items that are in reality on a flat surface. So spaces can be overlapping. So as you can see in the picture, so when an object is drawn or painted on top of another object, the viewer's eye interprets that this is one object being in front of another, implying there must be a space between them. So as you can see in the picture, parang nakita nyo na pinatong yung mga pagkain na para talagang pinicturean, in which dinraw lang siya. So the technique that used is the overlapping. Okay, as you can see in the picture, the painter used a technique in which it is placement. Objects, which is the house, higher up in the picture plane will seem to the viewer's eye to be further away. So yung nakikita natin sa picture na yung bahay ay parang malayo than objects placed low down in the picture frame. So, yung mas malapit nating tingnan o sa ating paningin ay yung mga flowers, at yung malayo ay yung bahay. So, that is how the technique of placement works in a painting. While the size So smaller objects looks as if they are further away. So, 'di ba, yung bahay maliit siya dahil nilagay siya sa malayo. So, the size of it is smaller object than larger object. So, yung mga malalaking object na nakita natin sa painting is yung mga flowers. Yan, yung color blue. So, malalaki siya tingnan dahil nakalagay, dahil its placement is nearer to the viewer's eyes. So, notice how much smaller the house is in relation to the flowers. So, diba, yung sinabi ko, mas maliit tingnan yung bahay kaysa sa yung mga flowers. Next technique is the detail. So, the further away an object, the less detail is visible to the viewer. So, as you can see in the picture, it is a piece of strawberry. So, di ba, yung painter is pinaint niya talaga yung detail ng isang prutas ng strawberry. So, di ba, yung prutas ng strawberry is may parang maliliit na mga butas. So, that is the details of a strawberry. By purposely reducing the amount of detail in an object, it will appear further away than an object with greater detail. So, dito, sa picture na ito, is dahil malapit siyang tignan or nandito siya sa near side ng ating mata, so dapat marami talaga mga details na pinaint. Unlike pag malayo yung object sa likod, diba? Hindi natin makita halos yung mga butas na parts ng strawberry. And also the technique in space is what we call the color and the value. So the color and value to objects is in the distance usually appear cooler, or yun yung mga color na hindi sakit sa mata, yung mga light color. Close-up objects appear warmer and darker in value. So in the picture, as you can see, the nearer object is the boat. So, yung ginamit ng painter na color sa boat is color yellow. So, diba? Pleasant tignan ang color yellow. While on the farthest away of the painting, in which there is a mountain, there is a sea, so the painter uses darker colors. The fifth element is the value. The value is how light or dark something is. So there is a scale of light and dark in the above picture, from pure white through the pitch black. So that is the value in art. The value of a color depends on how light or dark it is compared to the value scale. Getting the values right is more important than getting the colors right in painting. Why? It's because some painters uses value as the main color of a painting. Dahil mas importante sa kanila kung how their works pleasant ba sa mata ng mga viewers or hindi. So, ina-apply muna nila yung brightness at darkness ng isang artwork. Value is what makes it possible to show 3D forms in a 2D surface. In value, if a painting is done on the lower or in the darker edge of the value scale, it is called a low-key painting. So, di ba, yung nakikita niyo sa picture, para siyang madilim na, yung paggabi na siya at may babaeng nakatayo. So, para siyang lonely. So, low-key paintings give rise to a heavy, mysterious, dramatic, and sometimes brooding feeling in the viewer. So, para sa atin, dahil tayo ay viewer ng isang painting na in example ko, madedescribe natin siya na parang lonely ang babaeng nakatayo sa mga punuan. Is what the low-key painting tells us. And also, if there is a low-key painting, by contrast, there is high-key paintings. Take the range of values from the upper end of the value scale and create emotions of lightness, quickness, spirituality, and etc. So in the picture, as you can see, it has a too much lightness. So yung parang na-describe natin sa picture, parang may hope. O diba? Parang nakikita natin kung paano nabubuhay ang isang picture dahil napapansin natin na yung brightness, pag in-apply ito sa paintings or sa drawing, it makes our artwork brighter and parang nabubuhay siya. The sixth element is the color. Color is created when light is reflected into the viewer's eye. In art, colors are arranged on a color wheel. So as you can see in the picture on the right side, that is the color wheel. The color wheel was developed by Isaac Newton, who took the color spectrum and bent it into a circle. The color wheel shows primary colors. So in the picture, in the color wheel, as you can see, there is letter P. So that is the primary colors. We have yellow, red, and blue. So we have 3 primary colors. These colors cannot be mixed. Next is the secondary colors. So in color wheel, there is letter S. So that is the secondary colors. We have color orange, color green, violet. So these colors are made by mixing 2 primaries. So in primary color, if we mix the 2 of them, for example, the yellow and the red, we have a orange. And the next is the tertiary colors. So in the color wheel, there is letter T. So that is the tertiary colors. We have mint green, we have blue yellow, the pink, yellow orange. Yan. So these tertiary colors made by mixing the primary and secondary colors. And the last element is what we call the texture. So texture, it could be the simulated appearance of roughness or smoothness in visual arts, or the actual surface feel of a work of art or craft. You can see in the picture, it tells the texture of a painting. So it tells in the both picture that it has a roughness and smoothness. That's all for today's lesson. Thank you for listening. I hope you have learned something. Have a good day. Bye. For your activity in arts, in an Oslo paper, create a pattern using the 7 elements of arts. Always remember to be artistic and make your work neat and clean. So as you can see in the picture, that is the example artwork that you will creating. So take note, you can make your own style as long as napakita doon yung 7 elements of art. Nandun yung line, nandun yung color, form, value, space, texture, and shape.